Okay, here we go. Guest vlog number 2 at the Hookin Hut. Now this is very exciting now because, as you probably have noticed, the Hookin Hut is practically going viral with the number of likes it's receiving. All of a sudden things are just starting to snowball, and so I'm happy to be here once again sharing my crochet wisdom with you here at the Hookin Hut, especially now that there is just so many more of you. So if you haven't liked the Hookin Hut yet, please go to the link in the comments and like it right away so you don't miss out on any more. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't show you one of my products here in this video. This is a headband that is for sale in my Etsy shop, Sarah Lieb Crochet, for $15. I was thinking about putting it on sale for Cyber Monday, but I kind of decided against it since this yarn isn't so cheap and it kind of takes a while to make. But it's a nice headband. It's got this neat cross pattern stitch in the center. I know you can't probably see that very well, but it is unique. And it has a flat flower, which I think is, good for adults versus these ones that kind of stick way out, and a nice wooden button. That's the style now. So $15 in my Etsy shop. Not on sale for Cyber Monday, but you do get my good wishes with every one. And also, this is not my Etsy shop yet, but I'm considering it. I made myself this little beanie last night, thinking I would maybe use it as a tiffle. But it's cold outside, and so I put it on my head this morning before I went out. And I couldn't help but notice, look at a little thug life over here. People looking at me saying, who's that thug over there? It's the school's librarian. So anyway, on to the vlog. Enough with that. Sarah Lieb Crochet. If you want one of these hats, hit me up. The slouchy effect. It's really in style now. These are $15. I can make them in any color. Okay, so today's topic, controversial. Very, very, very controversial. I'm not even sure I want to go down this road, but I'm kind of feeling reckless this morning. So here we go. Okay, the most controversial topic on the internet right now might surprise you. It isn't Israel. It isn't the presidential election. The most controversial topic on the internet right now is paid crochet patterns. You go on any crochet board, nothing gets grown women acting like a bunch of crazed lunatics like the paid crochet pattern. And you can bet anywhere these fights are breaking out, Mrs. Lieb is right there to put her 2 cents in. So anyway, let me talk a little background for those of you who haven't been crocheting since before the internet. Used to be that if you wanted a crochet pattern, you would go to a store like Walmart or Michael's or any store that sold them, and you would buy a crochet book. So right here I have one of mine. Vanna White's Afghans A to Z. Now, Vanna White put out a few Afghan books, and they were all very good, I think in conjunction with the Lion brand yarns. My mother and I made several of these. I also have this book, Crochet for Today, and even though it shows a couple of sweaters on here, it's mostly Afghans and kitchen items in this book. I like this book because it has some thread crochet, which I really enjoy. But again, mostly Afghans. So you were kind of limited as to what you could really crochet. I mean, it used to be a lot of Afghan books, a lot of sort of baby books, a lot of crochet doll dresses like pillow dolls, believe it or not, and pot holders, and that was kind of what you did. Now, 25 years later, we have the internet, and crochet has just exploded with websites like Pinterest and Etsy and Ravelry and all free crochet. Anyone and everyone can write their own crochet pattern and upload it to the internet. Okay, you also have the yarn companies with their websites. There is just one could just crochet from now until the time they died, and they would never be able to finish it. Okay, so, I mean, this is a good thing. This is really a good thing, especially a site like Ravelry, where if I want to make a headband or an ear warmer, this was a paid pattern, I could just go and search for wide ear warmer with a flower, and literally 100 choices would pop up. So we're definitely, and also stitches have really evolved. I mean, it used to be you were kind of limited as to how you could describe a certain stitch, and you'd look at a crochet pattern and you'd show it to your friend or your mother and you'd be like, do you understand what they're saying here? Now you go on YouTube and there's a million instructional videos on how to cross these stitches and cable these stitches and do this. So crochet is also just taken a giant leap forward into like what you can do and how complicated it is and what you can accomplish with it. I know my own skills, and I've been crocheting since I was like 8, have just grown leaps and bounds in the last couple of years. So all good things, okay? So if you go on a site like Ravelry, and again, look up at ear warmer and like it, one of two things is going to happen. It could either be a free pattern that you can download right there, or a link to a blog or something like that, and you kind of get what you pay for, like in all things in life. If it's free, you just sort of take it as it is. It may be a good pattern, it may be a not good pattern, it may be a completely plagiarized pattern, but you didn't pay for it, so you really don't have a leg to stand on. Or it could be a paid pattern, the infamous paid pattern. These can cost anywhere from $1 to going up to $65 for some of these graphs that people are making for Afghans now. I think the most I ever paid was $8 for a pattern, and I got to tell you. Anyway, so with the paid pattern, we really have had a problem with quality control. Now, if I go into one of these books, I know that this book has been through a testing process and an editing process. The Leisure Arts Company doesn't want a bad reputation. They want you to buy their yarns, they want you to buy their books, so they have tested these things, they've edited these things to the nines. You can be confident that when you buy this, that it's a good pattern, and you can go into a store and flip through it before you buy it and make sure it all looks everything in order and buy it. Not so with the paid pattern. With the paid pattern, I could look at this and say, ooh, I really like that pattern. Okay, put in my PayPal, here's my $5, and then I get the pattern to look at. Now with this particular pattern, the stitch count, even with my gauge being spot on, the adult size of this couldn't have fit a cat. It was really small, so I really had to make a lot of modifications, adding several chains, a lot of experimenting, back and forth till I could find an adult size headband, even though the pattern indicated 42 chains or whatever made an adult size. And like I said, my gauge was completely correct. So already, even though I paid for this pattern, I had to put in quite a bit of time to get it correct. Now, this is not a good product. This is a faulty product, okay? But there is no system here as to what can be a paid pattern. I could go on today and upload a pattern to Ravelry that I haven't tested, that I haven't, had anyone else test, that I might have just copied from somebody else, and charge people for it. This is really becoming a problem. And you can ask, I don't even want to say half, maybe half the time you purchase one of these paid patterns, there are problems. I purchased a paid pattern from a very, very well-known pattern maker and got to the end and realized I was off by like 100 stitch counts, and I spent hours trying to figure out, what did I do? What did I do? I showed the picture to and she said, you're right. Emailed the pattern maker, oops, sorry, I made a mistake. There is no quality control. So, it is an issue. So what could you do? I mean, if you are a pattern maker, testers are the obvious thing. There's no small number of people out there that would be willing to test your products for you. There's whole boards of them on Ravelry. People love to do this stuff. Not me. Don't ask me to test for you. But lots of people do it. So, testing 5, 10, it's a must. It's a must. As the consumer, we're really limited. Now, Ravelry in particular, where a lot of people buy their patterns, has no review system. They have comments, a comment section, and they have a section where people upload their projects. But for some reason, this seems to be the one place on the internet where people practice any kind of restraint. If you see anybody like making a comment about a pattern, they're just in a hurry to tell you, how they modified it. Oh, I modified this pattern by adding 20 stitches to the chain, instead of being like, this is, the sizing on this is all wrong. There really is no, people just seem to not complain on Ravelry. So you go to buy something, you don't really know, even if people have done several projects, if this is a good pattern or not. So, one suggestion, I've submitted this to Ravelry, is they take on sort of a star system like Amazon or Etsy or something, where I could rank a pattern on a scale of 1 to 5. And they have something like that for difficulty. But, people say, oh, a lot of people want difficult patterns, something that's challenging. But they don't have something like that quality of the pattern. And that's really where the change needs to come in. So, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this. I'd be interested to hear, is this something that has affected you, that you've purchased patterns and, had to throw your hands up and say to heck with it, versus trying to chase down the pattern maker and get your $3 back? Like I said, the internet is really improving crochet in terms of what's available to us now, but it is not improving crochet in terms of the quality of patterns. Okay, good. All right, so that's enough, right? So Once again, Sarah Lee Crochet, my Etsy store. $15 as well as some other things. I'm going to upload this beanie, I think. I haven't decided yet. I love this is mine though. You can't have it. I kind of wanted a black one and I'm using this as a tuffle as well. So $15 for this one in black or any other color that you would like. Head on over to Yo's page because I'm pretty sure she's having some sort of Cyber Monday sale today and discounts involved. Okay, interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much.